Back when I was in 5th grade, an 8th grader was doing a project on brain-machine interfaces and stuff like that, which now I'm super into, but back then I had no idea what that was. I just remember walking up and him asking the first question in his presentation, asking, "Someone, tell me when the first computer was invented." And I was like, I naively thought, I don't know, like 1930s, 40s, 50s? And he was like, nope. And then he started going into how the first computers that were invented are biological computers, or essentially brains. And then he went on to talk about the merger of our brains and artificial brains. So that's what we are going to talk about today. And before we start, I just want to say that this series and stuff, and just how I make these videos usually, this is actually only the second one of these I'm doing, where I just sort of yap to the camera. It's completely unscripted. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I might script it a little bit beforehand in my head, but I'm not reading from a script or anything. This is all original thoughts, so you can kind of see how I'm thinking. And yeah, so I did get a comment a while back that was like, your channel isn't professional, stuff like that, and find a different niche, dude. Other science channels are way more professional. I'm like, okay, well, this is my channel. I get to decide what I want to do with it. It doesn't have to be professional. I don't want it to be professional. I want it to be raw, unfiltered thinking, so that's what this is. Yeah, and it's not really science. It's kind of science. I talk about a lot of sciencey subjects, but it's just a place for me to talk and for you guys to talk to me back in the comments and stuff, and for me to answer those in upcoming videos. I just rubbed the camera with my finger. So, anyway, we have meat computers. So, it's just essentially a blob of flesh with a ton of random cells that for some reason fire with electrochemicals and stuff, like electronic See, this is what I'm talking about when it's unscripted. Probably when I look at this, I'm gonna think this is all so stupid. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Because, hey, this is a hard thing to think about. But, yeah, so we have brains, which are essentially flesh blobs, which have neurons in them, which fire electronically, kinda. They just fire like little electric charges. And for some reason, that results in consciousness, that results in me talking, that results in society, that results in the internet. So it's just, I guess my question is, why? Why does it all do this? Like, everything is just made out of atoms bumping into each other. And, like, it's just crazy, because why is the universe even the way it is? Like, the laws of physics that we have discovered so far are for some reason just perfect for this universe and a universe that can support life. And now that we have evidence that our universe may be in a black hole, that suggests that every single black hole out there, which there are thousands of millions of black holes out there, they also have universes inside them too. So that brings up the question, do all these universes follow the same laws of physics, or do others change? Like, in one universe, could everything be made out of blueberries? Could there be life everywhere? Could it be sterile? Could it be a void? Some universes maybe are really good at making black holes. Others aren't. So, it's a lot of deep questions and stuff. But I'm kind of going off topic, so I'm just going to cut right here and go back into some deep thinking, probably about emotions or something. Emotions are weird. I was talking with my therapist the other day. I was just like, so emotions and stuff, I know they're chemicals and stuff, like dopamine and like serotonin and stuff that makes us feel certain ways. But those are just chemicals. Like, those are just little bundles of atoms that interact and make us feel weird things. Like, how does that work? And I was asking, like, where do they come from? Like, do they come from my food? Like, if I stop eating and we put all the other things aside, that I die, would I eventually become unable to experience emotion? And she told me that it comes a little bit from food. So if I did stop eating, I probably would lose a little bit of emotion, maybe, or those chemicals. But apparently they're also made in other ways and stuff. So if any of you guys work in the neuroscience field or something, please tell me, because I feel like I'm just bringing up a lot more questions than answers. Like, a lot of channels is like, here are questions, here are answers, but I don't know, this is just unscripted me yapping. So yeah. Alright, so I've been reading How to Create a Mind by Ray Kurzweil. I hope I pronounced his last name right. I've read one of his books before, The Singularity is Nearer, and it mentioned How to Create a Mind a lot, so I thought I'd read it. I've only read a little bit of it. I've read like some of the neocortex stuff and stuff like that. And essentially the neocortex is sort of just like the area of the brain that kind of envelops almost the entire thing. And that's where most of our brain stuff happens, because all the other stuff is kind of automated. The other stuff is like just like controlling your heart rate, your like all of your organs and stuff, and all those have to do with memory, which is definitely very important, along with living, of course, and emotions and other things, and sight. But the neocortex is essentially where we do all of our abstract thought and what we are trying to recreate in AI and large language models. So yeah, and then it's also talking about, of course, expanding your neocortex digitally, because in reality, all these neurons firing and all these computers running code is just ones and zeros. Like, I was watching Veritasium's thing on the Strong base, and the guy, he basically created neurons for it that he hopes to try out for the Strong base. If you don't know what the Strong base is, I'll put an image of it right here. It's essentially this thing that's powered solely by wind and appears almost lifelike, although it is just made out of like pipes and stuff like that. And this will just walk on the beaches and stuff and kick up sand, which the guy who created them hopes will help. I believe there's some countries like Norway or something, but will help places make natural seawalls to stop sea level rise and stop flooding. So anyway, the guy, like, he creates sort of neurons and stuff for the Strong base, and I'm just wondering, like, of course, all he really wants to do is make it so when they touch water, they turn and move away from the water. I was like, if you took enough of these little neuron things and made them small enough, couldn't you create essentially a computer powered by wind? And at what point, how many of these would you need? How many connections would you need for consciousness to arise? Because what even is consciousness? Like, I don't even know what I am. I don't really know what I am. One thing that definitely freaks me out a lot, though, is just the fact that teleportation, if I were to ever get teleported, like in Star Trek or something, like, beam me up, they would essentially make a copy of every little thing in my body and recreate it on the other end. Would that still be me? Would I be able to experience that? Or would essentially the lights go dark for this version of me, and a new version of me would be created on the other side that thinks it lived through everything I lived through, but in reality it's just an exact copy with all the memories that I have that thinks those actually happened to it, even though in reality it happened to a past version of it. Like, what would that mean? Am I a spirit? Like, would it be lights out for me, or would I not feel any difference just in my sort of consciousness and awareness? What even is consciousness? We don't know. Does any AI models experience consciousness? Because one thing I thought that I found really interesting, but I'm now noticing they're starting to get more narrowed down, is of course I experiment with AI a lot, and at first, like a few months ago, even a few weeks ago, I could kind of tell, if based on the response that it gave me, what AI model someone was asking a question of. But now I can barely tell. I'm like, did Grok give me that? Did ChatGPT give me that? Did Gemini give me that? Or did Claude give me that? Because I feel like now they're starting to get more and more narrowed down, and they're all starting to sort of get this, like, they used to, I feel like, have personalities. I don't know, maybe you guys still see the individual personalities. I still see it a little bit, but definitely not as much as I used to, based on how they respond. And then I saw an article, I don't think I read it. Well, I saw 2 articles, really. One, there's Elon Musk talking about how we may have reached the limit of human trading data that we can give to AI. And then another one that's like, do you need a body to think? Because maybe to truly be conscious and to think, we need a body. We don't know that. Like, we thought that it would work the same way, just if you have some digital mind or something and who'd experience things that we do. But then again, we've gotten so many things wrong in the past, and like, I'm just squeezing my leg right now to give myself some feel and like planting my feet on the ground. But a body, like, okay, I don't even know what to say, but yeah, it's like we experience so much sensory input from our bodies and into our brain that I feel like if we were just like a naked brain, then would it really be all the same? Would it just be an illusion? This is called the Boltzmann brain idea, kinda. I'm not going to delve into that because that's going to take too long. There is a video on by Kurzgesagt on it, so I'd go watch that. But yeah, the brain is really weird, and the neocortex is weird as well. And it's just like, it's just stuff firing and stuff interacting. That's even how civilization works too, because just by us humans interacting, we create everything that exists on planet Earth, essentially. Of course, except all the natural stuff. But we create civilization, we create rockets, we create buildings, we give money value for some reason. We interact with each other, we create languages. Just also fascinating that all of this comes from things, small things on a smaller and smaller and smaller scale, interacting with each other. It's just, I feel like in this universe, it's just if we have enough things and throw them all together, they're eventually going to interact and eventually create something. Whether it's a neuron, a society, a solar system, a galaxy, an atom, a large language model, whatever it's going to be. So yeah, this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than my last one that was on 3i Atlas, the interstellar comet that we have discovered. So, yeah. This video is probably gonna, I don't wonder if this video will do better or worse. It's gonna be longer. I probably have repeated a lot of things, so probably after I watch this and edit it, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, there was stuff I wanted to say, but I didn't get to say it because I wasn't thinking about it at the moment. So I might pop an entire thing into the comments and pin it, like a pinned comment of me just yapping a little bit more in the comments. I don't know. So yeah, this is just me messing around and talking about things. So if you like to hear me yap about things in a really unprofessional way, and I probably don't know much because I am just a student and I am not really an expert in any field. I'm almost essentially self-taught, regardless to what I've learned in school. But anyway, I'm probably talking too much. So, see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and drop a comment. I don't think this video is going to do well in the algorithm. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. We only have 150 something right now. But, yeah.